what are some of the things they have to do in order to get ready for their big day? What are some of the things you tell them,
Wow.
that needs to happen or stuff like that?
There are so many things that they need to do. So the first advice I'd probably give a bride is to not do a hurry come up wedding. Yeah. The best time to start planning your wedding is between a year to 6 months. And pretty much with COVID, we know that there have been restrictions, and then restrictions have
Right.
been pulled back. But especially if you know that you're having over 50 people, I would say between a year to 6 months is a good time. And even if it's just a small wedding party, I truly believe that your wedding is just one of those things that you don't want to just hurry it up, and based on your budget, you also want to consider your budget. So you want to give
Right.
that enough time. Most first-time brides, they're not quite sure what a wedding will cost. So normally, before we even do anything else as wedding planners, we help you to estimate a budget. So even if you come to us and you say, okay, what's the cost for a wedding? We still could not have told you that off the bat, because we don't know the dynamics and the scale of the wedding. And so we'd have to sit down, figure out the scale of the wedding. What do you like? How many persons are going to be there? What kind of menu? And all of these things contribute to the cost of your wedding. So that's one quick tip I would have for persons who are planning weddings too. Make sure you get premarital counseling. My brand is a faith-based brand. And if you're going to do a wedding, normally there's a pastor or some form of religious ceremony that happens for those who are religious minded. There are other types of weddings. And these are the things that I cover, because I've started a school, Royal Events Academy, where I teach people about the deeper things about weddings. Some of these things you don't even find in a book. But you want to get some sort of advice, especially if this is your first time getting married, because the wisdom that people have who have been married before, it's there's nothing like it, and you always need that type of advice. However, please pay attention to those who are extremely negative while giving you advice. You do not want to take advice from persons who are extremely skeptical about weddings and all of these things. You want to stay around people who have positive energy, positive vibes, but they're also very transparent and they're very honest.
Right, that's true.
Weddings have many moving parts, right? So there is the transportation aspect of it. There is the decorating aspect of it. There is the food aspect of it. There is the making sure that the bridal party is on top of their game part of it. Making sure that there is the option for premarital counseling. So it just depends. It just depends on the type of weddings. So destination wedding just mean it's a wedding outside of the person's country of origin. So let's say we have someone who is in the US that wants to do a wedding. Definitely we start with a virtual call. We start with what is called a discovery call. And then once you have that discovery call, we find out if we are a great match, because sometimes you will have the initial conversations, and you will find that you are not a match with a bride. Not every, well, for royal events at least, we do not do like every single wedding, but if we feel that you are more compatible, we have other colleagues within our circle that we can refer you to ensure that you have the type of day that you are expecting, the type of day that you are looking for.
So therefore, from the beginning, they know exactly what kind of service you're going to give, your total investment in them.
Exactly.
And that's good. If you don't feel they're a good match, then it's always good to just say, hey, maybe not this time or something.